Right, good. Hope everything is good. Hope people are able to hear me and see me. Thanks all for joining here. And just give me a confirmation if you're able to hear me and see me well. Fantastic. Thanks a lot. Good. Wednesday is a very interesting day where we will look like work being completed, but it will be halfway done. And we'll think that another 2 days we'll complete it before week of the end of the week. But before you blink, it will be Friday. Oh my God. So Wednesdays are crucial days. And first of all, thanks a lot for coming up on this working day to listen to this program. I appreciate your time. For the people who joined in Zoom, people who joined there in YouTube, I appreciate your time. Thanks a lot for coming up here. Now we're going to talk something about a scaled agile. Last few weeks, we are listening about the PMP and some of the agile area. So now let's get into some more area, which is called as scaled agile. So the questions are here. Hey, is really scaled agile going to help me? I'm from manufacturing industry. I'm from construction industry. I'm from software, Shriram. You know, Shriram, I'm trying for a new job. I'm looking for country migration. I don't know, man, what to do. Seriously, I'm worried. Do I need to do all this thing? I'm putting all my money into this. Is it worth it? Okay. I'm not a person who runs an institute to give all the certificates. By the way, I'm an employee of a company. So definitely I want to tell which will help you. Okay. So I'll try to cover some basics today. I won't jump too deep inside because again, Friday I have a subject on scaled agile, a little deep. Again, we have scaled agile trainings happening on this weekend. Some of our candidates are participating in the classes. So now what I'm trying to do is I'm going to talk about what is a scaled agile, first of all, very basic level, and give some layman level understanding, man, why these many certificates in the market, why we should do that. Okay, so let me try to cover that and then we'll go further deep inside. Before I go, if anybody have any question in YouTube or in Zoom, kindly post the question. Don't stop questioning. Please question. So I will also try to understand and answer the question in a better way. Right? With this, we'll get inside. I'm seeing the chat window. If there is any question, no question. So the session opens without any question. It means people are so bright. I believe some of you had your morning breakfast from US, some of you from India, about to have your dinner. You know what? This is 8:30 or evening hours. Crucial with office calls. You'll be laptop running here and there. In spite of that, you made it here means it's a good job. Appreciate it. So what I do is I have a few slides because slides will make us to quickly catch up certain things. I'm going to do two things. One, few slides, very limited. I'm going to travel through that to give some basic idea. And then I'm going to take to the website of a Scaled Agile, which is an open site. Anybody can view that. That also I'm going to walk through. Okay. So with this, let's kickstart. Somebody from the Zoom or YouTube confirm you're able to see the shared screen, what I'm giving, because better to get the confirmation, right? Fine, confirmation comes. That's nice. That's nice. Thanks a lot. Thanks for the confirmation. And thanks for the people from YouTube also. Okay, let's go furthermore. First, I want to give thanks to all the people who joined here. The person who is going to view this video after a month, a week, thanks for watching this video because we're trying to add some points which can help somebody in the society. Okay, maybe directly or indirectly, we're trying to help. That's a message. There is a question. Okay, safe portfolio manager, safe practitioner, which certificate we are discussing about? Lavanya, we are discussing general scaled agile. Okay, there are many people yet to understand what is scaled agile, and then we will take a little effort to show what is the certificate which is better for us. Hope that helps you, Lavanya. I think Lavanya is a little advanced stage. She's asking what certificate inside this. Many people don't know what is safe. Then we'll talk about certificate. Okay, let's go a little more. I'm going to show certain things to you to give the basics. You all have to look out certain years here. Okay, what is this years all about? Yeah, so I have put some years, 2001, 2003, 23, or 2013, 2011. This last 20 years, the market dynamic has changed a lot. See, maybe we are in that prime age group where you enjoyed all this benefit. Uh, See, next generation, which is your children coming up, they may see more advanced level. I'm not saying no, but we could be the generation, if you're living at the age of 30, 40s, you have seen the slow moving process, medium speed and high speed. How many of you want to agree with me? You didn't see this kind of speed life in your school days. How many of you here tell that, oh yeah, I didn't see that? If anybody want to agree with me, at least I didn't see this kind of speed life, at least when I'm in primary school. Okay. So when I come to the next level, even college beginning, I didn't see this much. And slowly things started changing. Okay. Specifically the year, I will tell 1993, 95, slowly picked up. And 2001 onwards, things started changing drastically. Just forget there's a PMP, ACP, Agile, Scaled Agile. Just forget it. I'm talking about technology. Technology revolution started like anything. I remember in school days, I have seen companies advertising. If you buy a television, we'll give you 5 DVDs, 20 DVDs. Okay, we'll be so crazy. Oh my God, DVDs are rocking the market. CDs are rocking the market. Now I don't see that CD and DVDs. Those are kept in bicycles as a reflector. Okay, the change is pretty fast the last 15, 20 years. Sure, why all this story now? The story is the market has changed a lot. In a sense, if you ask your parents, their degree qualification is valid for nearly 20, 30 years. That's why they were able to do some government service where they'll go to a job, either they learned in the degree or they learned in the job on the floor. They survived because that's how life was. I'm using was. Yeah, it was, not is. Now, with this current trend, things are changing so dynamic. That too with the pandemic, believe me, in next 5 years, things will change very heavily. Now you will tell, yes, now itself changing. Now nothing is changing. Nothing is moving. Everything looks standstill. I'll tell you, this changes or this mindset of the people going to change in next 5 years. Always the human evolution happen like this. Okay, when something happened like a Second World War, from Second World War, we brought a lot of technologies, a lot of ways of managing people, things around us. There was a big lessons learned for people in the 19th century. Now you can consider this as equivalent to that kind of situation. Imagine the change is going to happen. Okay, what going to happen? What happened? Story fine. So what is the story here, Shriram? Story here is in 2001, a very interesting year where the agile concepts came into picture. What is agile concepts? Okay, somebody who follow our YouTube channel, you know what is agile, or if you listen to our classes, you may come to know. Agile is nothing but a concept, a mindset to make people to work a little more effectively. Okay, that's it. You ask me, that's it. That's it. That's what these people are trying to do. Okay. By the way, Americans are so good in selling the product. So they're selling a product to make you think in a better way. What you're trying to do here is two people they're going to connect. One is customer. Don't think customer is somebody else. You are a customer, right? Yesterday you ordered something in Amazon or in Flipkart or some website. So you are a customer or you are a buyer, both the way. So they're trying to connect this buyer and seller using some technical people in between. Okay. Mostly people connection. So you can ask me, before 2001, it was not there. It was there, but it was a haphazard here and there. So now what happens is with the technology running faster, people changes are happening faster. Now, how can we mix together? So Agile came in there to say, let's bridge this gap where we can understand the customer needs so faster, where we can make people empower themselves, do the work very efficiently. Okay, I put a lot of terms here. I'll talk about it. So 2001, this happened in the US with the 17 IT folks say that, guys, let's look at the way we deliver to the customer in different dimension. Very good. Now, Shriram, what is the relation between this and scaled agile? I'll come because agile only become a scaled agile. Okay. Now let's go a little more down. In the year 2003, something interesting happened. There is a person called Mary and Tom. Mary Poppendick and Tom Poppendick. These two people written a book called Lean Software Development. So Sriram, lean is new. I will say not at all new. Lean is pretty old concept. Yeah, from Toyota, they used efficiently. Even before Toyota, it exists. That's what the old book says that. But Toyota efficiently used it. The moment I say lean, definitely your brain pops up. Maybe reduction of wastage or unwanted task will be cut down. Unwanted things. Okay. So what is unwanted? Non-value added. Anything non-value added, you just get it. See, in this video, if I'm going to talk anything about the Hollywood movies, it's a non-value added, isn't it? So you will cut it down. So now what happened is Mary and Tom took this lean manufacturing system and converted into lean software development system. Okay, so this became hit. So now what is the relation again, Shriram? 2001, Agile came in. 2003, Lean was highly publicized. Don't think only these two people publicized. Their book got so famous, Lean Software Development. It was pretty famous, okay? Now, what they written there about the reduction of wastage or unwanted process, unwanted features, waiting time, lot factors are written. Now, these are all good. Now, what happened is, based on 2001 Agile Manifesto, or before that about Agile concepts, many companies started working in an Agile fashion because they started liking it. What they liked is, team is empowered. Shriram, what is empowered? Empower means you feel comfortable on what you do. Nobody has to force you. You will do on your do. Something like children these days. In home, if you see children these days, they are empowered, right? They are in fact superpowered. They know what to do. You cannot go and tell them anything. If you don't show anything, they will react different way. It's not like children those days where not much empowered. It's all directed. Okay, you can see the way generation moves. Now coming forward now, 2001 to 2005, 6, all going well. Now what happened is when they work as a team of 6 people, 8 people, everything is good as per the Agile. Agile says empower the team, allow them to do on their own, they will deliver it. They were doing really great. The problem started when they want to plan little longer and little bigger. I'm using the word longer, bigger. So Agile was planned for something smaller, short term. That's how it was, not longer and bigger. When I say bigger, teams of teams. Shriram, what is teams of teams? Imagine 4 cricket teams or football team has to work towards common goal. Individually as a team, they're so good. They'll play the match, win the game, well and good. They go for football, win the game, well and good. Now you put 2, 3 cricket teams together, football team together, work for COVID medicine supply. Okay. I'm telling you, that's a fun, but actually COVID medicine supply is so pathetic. If you see the market, people are fighting each other for getting the injection, pull and push are happening, some mismanagement happening all over the world, not only one country, all over the world. Anyway, we call ourselves educated. Okay, now coming out, imagine these 4, 5 teams has to work towards some common goal. Now what happens is the team size get bigger and the goals get lengthy and longer distance, like a quarterly plan, half-yearly plan. It started getting diluted. They couldn't deliver it really well because Agile was not expanding well. Okay. Now what happened is in this time in 2005, now you can see a date there, 2005. 2005, what happened is they brought in something called large scale Scrum, LESS. In LESS, what they said is, let's take the Scrum team with the 5 or 6 people and we'll put some more team, another team join together and we'll make a work like this. We don't disturb the Scrum methodology, but we will expand it. It actually worked well. Actually, it was good, nothing bad in that. And they gave something called small, less small or less huge. 2 things I gave. One is up to 8 teams you can form. Beyond that, 100 people you can form. Still, it was good. I won't tell it's bad. It's still working really good. In 2013, they made a little frame properly with a systematic approach. It was really good by the time. But what happened is in 2007, something started changing. What happened is this Agile with the scaling, it's not going really well, even you have a large scale Scrum. So there is a team formed in 2007. They started working something called as Scaled Agile. It was not authorized. It was not totally published by the time. Okay, we are working for some years. Articles are getting published, and more discussion were happening as a forum. And in the year 2011, the first version got published. It's called Scaled Agile. Now, in Scaled Agile, what they did is what you see in the year 2001 and what you see in the year 2002, both were clubbed together. It means lean and agile were clubbed. That made a lot of change because agile as a single piece, it's so good in helping people and making people to move very efficiently. Whereas when you inject something called lean inside that, lean comes from Toyota, efficient management of time or efficient management of reduction of wastage, efficient management of value added delivery to the customer. So now agile was there, lean is there. So now it became a burger kind of thing. Two things came in. On top of that, they added a layer called systems thinking. Systems thinking is a concept which they try improving. This is also very famous from Japan system, where as a whole they will improve. If something you have to improve, you cannot improve one portion, 2%. You have to improve as a whole. If not, it won't work. The example I can quote here is, if I want to be fit physically, just going to gym alone will not make me fit. Shriram, I'm going to gym every day 2 hours. I'll become a good bodybuilder. No, you should sleep well. You should take healthy food, right? You should have a good habits at your family system. Now, when you have all this thing, along with this, if you go to gym, you will get better. Now, this is systems thinking concept. Now, these three combined together, Scaled Agile picked up. Shriram, what do you mean by picked up? Many big companies started liking it because 15 years or 11 years of struggling, they were having agile, but they couldn't expand. I'm talking about bigger teams, bigger company. Okay, this is where Scaled Agile came in. There's a small history of these people where they came from. Okay, let me go a little more so that you will get some more information. Okay, some of the key points which we can remember for Scaled Agile before I jump into and explain to some more details. Now, if you see key points here, the first key point what I want to put for you is in Scaled Agile, scaling is best applied in any domain. Keep in mind, you can apply for any domain. Shriram, domain means what here? It may be automobile, it can be manufacturing, it could be construction, it can be pharma, right? Now, where there is high uncertainty, when you feel there is more uncertainty of technology, more uncertainty of requirements, degree of change is pretty high, then you can go for Scaled Agile. However, this is more adopted into technical field these days, more than non-technical field. Okay, because they need more amount of coordination between the teams. Still, we see big companies are applying mostly on the IT or technical relevant areas. If you go to automobile will have its own technology and technical area, right? If you go to construction also will have some area of preparation of technology and technical area. So we in banking, in pharma, you have it. So you go for any domain when there is a technical and technology oriented area and there is more uncertainty, there Scaled Agile starts happening. Also, Scaled Agile happens for bigger size of teams and also longer duration of plans. Both are here. Now, second point we'll see, scaling needs much commitment from the organization as a whole. This is a very important point. Scaling you cannot do just with a team. Whereas a Scrum or Agile, if 10 people are committed, well and good. The work will happen amazingly great. 10 people committed, things will move. They keep on delivering. But here we are talking about bigger team size, right? If, for example, if a Citibank want to do technology upgradation, they will have teams of teams. Let's say they will have 5-6 teams. It's not only teams working together, right? Their senior level management or their strategic thinking team, they should also align. If you don't align in that way, scaling will fail, literally it will fail. You cannot believe only by the team level at the organization level. I'll show more on that in the framework. Scaling is not only for IT department, it is applicable to other technology innovation departments also, other departments also where they can move as a group. It's possible. Scaling can start from a small size and slowly it can enlarge. Doesn't mean that you have to come initially 1,000 resources, then only will start. Not at all. maybe 20, 30, 50, 50 resources, a decent size. It starts from there and gets expanded, possible. One thing I want people to remember with the scaling agile is the only word is predictability or predictable. The reason is, even though you work as a bulk of number of people, the results will be predictable. You can right away tell the delivery will happen on this date, right? Which was the biggest problem for a long time. When the team size is huge, when the goal is lengthy, what happened is they couldn't deliver as per the timeline. So there was some mismatch happening. So this predictability is one of the important feature. Okay. Okay. Little heads up on that, what I was giving to you. Let me walk a little more deep inside. Okay. Let me go. Okay. Let me see some more. Let me talk some more factors here. I was talking about scaled agile, and I want to give two headings for you. One is scaling the lean concept, scaling the agile concept. First, keep in mind that scaling means we are trying to enlarge it with a more number of people, bigger level of commitment, both going to happen. So Sriram, what will happen to the smaller team, smaller segment? For that, you should not worry. It should work regular with the Scrum Kanban methodology, which goes as usual what you do today. If I tell my, okay, let's take one example. Say one of my uncle is running a retail store in the city. Imagine in a city, and for him, in a city, it's a moderate sized city in India, where you will have a business at a normal level. When that's a level of business, that's a level of reach. I may not need to do some technical work for this company or this system, which needs more than 30, 40 people or not a lengthy goal. It's going to be a short set of work. It could be a short duration of work where we'll make it happen quicker, deliver it, and get the feedback or value out of it. Imagine the same uncle whom I'm talking, who's doing a retail business, sales of dress material or something, and whether he or she is doing now at the level of national level. India is such a big country. You have number of states, number of needs. Now the business is expanded. So their level of access to technology and the need can be pretty high. Now I have to bring up a system in place, and I use the word system, could be technology, could be machinery, could be a software. Now to set it up, I may need a longer duration of work, could have more number of people involved. Now, when I have to involve more number of people, longer duration, definitely I need a common framework to make it happen. If not, 5 teams or 10 teams working, each one work in a haphazard timeline. Rather, we have to bring it together. In those spaces, this concept starts coming inside. Now, when I talk about scaling lean, now lean is a concept which we can understand that reduction of wastage and also improving the system efficiently. Ideally, reducing the non-value added items. So how can you scale it at the organizational level? Shriram, what is at the organization level? When you say organization level, they start talking about the strategic way of how to do budgeting. The budgeting they call as a lean budgeting in scale agile, where big initiatives, when they budget, they keep the lean concepts in mind. I don't want to dive too deep inside now. I'm just giving a clue that lean is being highly adopted in scaled agile. That is one of the reasons scaled agile picked up heavily, because many companies nowadays looking for value engineering or adding value. I believe you all know what is value engineering. Ideally, you try to reduce the cost, increase the value. Any company, that's how they do, right? Why most of the American companies are looking for China or India? Why? They want to reduce the cost, increase the value, right? That's how it is. So if a lean concept totally talking about how to reduce the cost, increase the value, why not companies use scaled agile? Everybody tell, oh yeah, we like it, we'll use it, save money, right? So now, then the next segment is scaling agile. Scaling agile is something like where agile, we know from 2001, where a set of 5 or 6 people or 11 people work towards to a small goal. Now, when you want to do teams of teams, as I gave an example of football teams or cricket teams, how do all these people work together towards a common goal? I'm keep on telling that scaling, grouping together, how to make it, right? So now we have to see a place, how they make it. I'm going to show that in a minute of time. But before that, let me see, is there any question I can help out? Okay, in YouTube, there is a question. Sudeep, what's the difference between ACP and SAFE? Let me take this question and go forward. ACP stands for Agile Certified Practitioner, which comes from the institute called PMI. PMI stands for Project Management Institute. Now, ACP is a certificate which talks Agile but broader. It has concepts about Scrum, it has concepts about Kanban, extreme programming, Crystal, FDD, and few more methods being discussed in this. Primarily in ACP certificate, they will try to cover Agile as a whole, what all inside Agile. There it stops. In fact, it talks about lean management also. Whatever talking here, lean, that also will be in ACP. ACP is one of the best Agile certificate in the market because it comes from the institute called PMI. Okay, best certificate. Okay, moving next. And the question is difference between ACP and SAFE. Now, scaled Agile is talking for above scalability, making it bigger in the sense of a framework. An institute called Scaled Agile Incorporation, SAI, Scaled Agile. It's a different institute. Okay, what they found is they found this Scaled Agile framework concept. I'm going to show the framework. A framework means nothing but how it works systematically, right? If I go to college admission, I'm talking about college admission in different countries. There'll be a framework. Somebody has to clear the entrance exam. Once they clear the entrance exam, they have to go through the process of applying details, which course you have to choose. Then you have to join the academic. You have to complete your semester. There's a framework, right? Who framed this framework? That university has framed this framework. Any student will cross through the framework. When they complete the course, they'll be awarded with a degree and they feel I'm done. It's a framework, right? Okay, that's a college is a framework. Something like that, scaled agile community or incorporation, they have found a framework, they designed a framework. I'm going to show you that. This framework adopts whatever we learn in PMI-ACP. It will adopt Scrum, Kanban, extreme programming, lean management, and put that inside this framework, run the engine and get output. So ACP helps you to understand Agile. The scaled Agile will help you to utilize it and make it bigger for big organizations for better delivery. Hope that helps you, Sudeep. Okay, there is a question. Can't we apply SAFE to one team? We can apply, Deepak. It's not a problem. They didn't say no for it, but doesn't make value, right? If it's a small team, you can use a Scrum methodology. Why we should go for a scaling, all the stuff? Because it has some process in place. I don't want that to be done, right? For one student, I don't want to run a framework in a college for admission process. Directly, one student can walk in, get the admission, right? If it's a mass number of people, number of courses are high, then I need a framework to handle it. That's how they go. Usually scaling word is used for large. Hope you get that, Deepak. Okay, that was a good question. 2 questions from YouTube. Let's move a little more. Okay, what all SAFE try to promote? Okay, I'm not trying to put all the marketing stuff of SAFE here because in their website, there'll be a lot of marketing stuff also. Let's not go to that. Let's understand the reality of what it is. But actually, even though Scaled Agile marketed that they are the best in the world, there are good system also, like large Scrum also really good. But again, SAFE has something valuable, which is as a feedback. What do you mean by feedback? Many big companies, that is Fortune 100 companies, started using Scaled Agile 4 or 5 years back. And they have given feedback for Scaled Agile to improve certain areas. That is why you see framework version keep changing. Currently, we are in SAFE 5.1 version. So you can see in the last 10 years, multiple versions has come on the market. At the same time, they also have a more success videos, like what we have PMP success videos, right? Same way, Scaled Agile has success videos from the company itself, like Bosch is giving it, Cisco is giving it. They're telling that we are using it, it's working efficiently. So we have to visit that in their website. Fine, let's talk something about what they promote as a winning point. The winning point what Scaled Agile is promoting is telling that, hey guys, you know what? We have something called alignment. This alignment is a very beautiful word, which is highly missing in many companies. In PMI, PMP, they do this in the sense of they have a strategy, they have a program, they have a portfolio, they have a project in place. It is all well done in PMI, which is common for both industry of manufacturing, or could be of construction, could be of software. Same thing imitated here in a way where here alignment has been spoken up from the organizational level. You can see here, out of alignment, how does it look like, how the alignment will be. Of course, you all know the English word of alignment, bringing things in track. Alignment here in Scaled Agile, they have a strategy. When I say strategy, which talks about the business direction of the company. And this information percolates down to the whole team, and it makes sure that everybody follow it. It's not just talking, it should be followed. How to do that? For which they have a business goal setting. Every time the team makes a plan, there'll be a business value or a business goal set by the whom? Business people directly. You cannot tell yourself this is the best one. Business will come and tell this is the best to be delivered. And your company heads also will be part of this discussion. Point here is I try to bring everybody towards a common goal and make everybody to think in the same direction. Alignment is one of the main success point of SAFe. I have been to one of the Fortune company where I was implementing SAFe there. There I was in a meeting of nearly 180 people in the room because it's called PI planning. By the way, this Friday, I'm going to talk about how the planning works in Scaled Agile. There, I was able to see the director of the company coming to the planning program. Usually take the Scrum planning, sprint planning. In sprint planning, who all will be there? 5 or 6 development team members, 1 product owner, 1 Scrum master. Only these 8-9 people will talk for the work and they deliver the work. If it is a 2 team, maybe some senior guys will be there. That's it. But when you have 10 teams working together, you will have most of the big shots of your company coming there. You will have a director, the senior principal architect of the company, technical advisors, IT department team, finance team, everybody will be there. So what's the benefit of everybody being there? That's a way it gives a good alignment. Everybody speak the same language. That's the second point they talk about collaboration. The collaboration is one of the biggest gap in the market these days, where one team is not able to get the work and data from other team. There's a gap in that. To fill that gap, Scaled Agile framework is helping to do the collaboration and delivery across large number of agile teams. Look at this. This is what I'm keep on telling, which I'm going to show you now. Large number of teams, right? Number of teams are pretty high. It's hard to manage. So if you see here, you have a design team, developer, marketing, sales, operations, everybody come to the common platform. So when you have everybody together in a place, chances are work can move smoother. Okay, very good. I can see a couple of questions coming up, I believe. Let me try to answer them. What's the question? Sandeep put a question. Before Sandeep, I'm seeing Parnis put a question. Can Scaled Agile apply for construction? Parnik, in construction, if you have a technical or technology-oriented innovation or system place there, possible. If not, in construction, there is not much of variance. If you listen to me from the beginning, I was telling that if more amount of uncertainty, Scaled Agile or Agile applicable. In construction, uncertainty is very less. It's well predicted project. We know how it's going to work. Even a massive dam construction, they know how it's going to work. When the uncertainty level, I'm not talking about only the risk factor, risk is there. Uncertainty on technology, uncertainty on the requirement. If it's pretty less, not need to go for Scaled Agile, which you can have a predictive approach to resolve it. Hope it helps you, Parni. Sandeep says, does SAFe helps in animation film industry? Of course, it will help a lot. The industry which Sandeep is telling, it has a lot amount of uncertainty. Things will be, you don't know the customer demand. Animation is a happening industry for last 20 years. Further, it's going to be more because more of VR coming in, right? Virtual reality. More is needed there in the industry of film industry. Definitely, it's uncertainty high. Keep in mind always the project. Uncertainty on the technology and technical factors to be used, 1 point. Uncertainty on the requirement. Customer can be more flexible on what they want. When these two are pretty high, you will go for Agile. When you go for Agile, the same animation is done by a big company Big requirements, number of people is high, you have to handle multiple teams, scaled agile will come into picture. Animation is done by a small team. For a marriage function, you're doing as animation. Okay, don't think marriage is small. Yeah, marriage is an event of family, right? Hardly, there is no hurry, but you need to do some animation activity for this family festival video or DVD, something coming out. Hardly 8 people, 9 people needed. 2 months work will happen. Close. I can use a normal Scrum team, a Kanban team to close it. Right? I think you agree with me. If it's only bigger, then I'll go for a fun. For example, if some Hollywood movie is coming for animation, definitely I have to put a lot of number of people. Scale ledger is very much needed. Neha. Okay, how Agile is used for mining electronics industry? I'm seeing two different industry. Electronics is something totally different, right? Mining, if you say you're talking about the any specific mining, Neha, because mining on anything on data mining you're talking about, if you ask about it, because I'm saying mining is something different. Whether if you're talking about data mining or industry in the electronics area, definitely these has more of uncertainty. Keep in mind again, uncertainty is wherever it's high, there comes Agile. In Agile, if we have more number of teams going to work, definitely scale will happen, right? If it's a different mining, it's a predictive way. They know what to do. They'll be very clear. Okay, couple of questions in YouTube. I'll take one question, then go for the subject, and then come back. Maharaj, can we assume scaling Agile as superset of scaling Lean and ACP combined together? Maharaj, if you want to assume, yes, you can assume it. But again, ACP is a subject which explains Agile. They don't have a framework. They only explain. They'll tell you there is something called Scrum. There is something called Kanban. This is what Agile is all about. They will tell you a team means should think like this. There they stop. Whereas a scaled Agile means they'll tell you how to do this, right? Let's see the factor. Okay, I have two more questions in YouTube. I'm going to come to that question. Before that, let me walk a little bit. So I will try to clarify. Okay, first I'll give a how. So far, what I said is mindset of scaled agile, big team and organization level agility. Who can do that? These all explained well. Shriram, these are good, man. Tell me what to do. You keep on telling something. Tell me what to do. If you ask me. Okay, here I show you something. In the screen, what you see here, I'll try to explain a little bit here. See, it will be an organization. Okay, what they do is when they frame something, let's say there was an example, right? Film industry. Film industry is asking scale result can be done. Imagine Titanic version 2 is coming, something they're doing here. For this Titanic version 2, definitely a lot of animation or graphics is highly needed. Now, such a big, massive film, branded film, definitely you have to do big amount of work. Now, what they do is they'll put a set of team members. When they put a team members, the team members can be between 5 to 12 teams. The number of size expected, 5 to minimum 5, and max you can go to 12 teams. Okay, 5 teams means each team can have 10 members. So 50 go to 125 people plus, hardly 130, 140. Okay. 50 to 125 people join together. What they're going to do together, all together going to work on creating some animation graphics for Titanic version 2 movie, part 2. Okay. So this group of people who work for Titanic second part, they will be put into a group, and group is called as Agile Release Train. Agile word, you will very know that. Release, you know that. It's a train. Train, keep moving forward. Keep moving forward with the deliverables, okay, as a group. So what a big deal, man. Every company has 100 people, 200 people. Now, what's going to happen here? If you question me, now all these 125 people or 50 people going to work towards a common goal with a commitment, empowered. Hey, man, you keep on adding words. Yeah, common goal, commitment, empowered with lean mindset. Oof, too many, right? That is what scaled agile promoting. Sriram, is it very successful? I will tell, still it's in the maturing stage, because many companies just transitioning from old model to agile model. From agile model, they have to go to scaled agile model. Okay, if you and me are learning this management for a long time, it will take little more effort to come there, but we are coming there. Now, what they're doing is they're putting 125 people working on Titanic version 2, and they do something called continuous exploration. Exploration means understanding the work needs and necessity, how it is. Continuously happen all over the cycle. Continuously integration. Whenever they do the work, they integrate and check is it working properly. They don't wait for the last day of delivery. They do early. It's called integration process. And continuous deployment. They keep moving this to the ready state. They tell it's ready. Whether to use it or not, it's a wish of customer. Nobody can force it. It's ready to use. Now there is something called release on demand. Customer decides when they want to release it to the market. So as a technical company, as a project performing company, what we will do is we will explore it, we will do the work and integrate it, and we'll deploy it. The English word deploy, if somebody not from IT, non-IT industry, deploy means make it available for the customer to use it anytime. I'll keep it at your home. It's up to you. Whenever you want, you can use it. Like every day we get the water can supply, right? Some people are getting 20 liters, 10 liters of can. The can every day or every week come to your home, ready there. But only when you need it, you'll open the cap and put the bottle for yourself, right? So something like that, it will be available. Release on demand is a concept. It's not a technology, it's a concept, mindset, telling that we are ready. Now, what happened is, this is how they do the work. Let's not do too deep diving. It's not part of today's discussion, but just want to tell you, they all work on a common cadence. This is where the thrill of safe thrilling happens here. Common cadence. If you say 125 people, everybody work on the same synchronized way. Like if you see in China or Japan or somewhere in the Olympics season, everybody will dance in a ground. You see that? They move one movement, whole ground will look a different color. That is what happening in SAFE, which was not happening in 2001, 2005, 2010, because each one was doing different angle. In the ground, you will see different colors, not get the coordinated color. That coordination was brought by Scaled Agile with that framework. In fact, this Friday, I'm going to talk about something called PI planning. It means to do this work effectively, like how Titanic version 2, how they make a plan, that we will talk. But I'll cover that on Friday. I mean, day after tomorrow. For now, I'll tell that align to the common mission. Again, look at here. Common cadence, common mission. Keep in mind the Olympics ground, common cadence, common mission. Everybody do the same angle. So you see the flower coming up, you see the name Japan coming up. Japan says no more Olympics this year. All comes up there, right? So point is, how to do is what Scaled Agile differ from others in the market, because many don't insist on how to do, but these guys insist on how to do. So now what I do is I'm keep on talking this story, right? Let me show something which you may like to understand. What I have to show you is I have to bring something for you. Meantime, I can see some questions popping up. Let me come to your question. Give me a minute. Look at here. Okay. Can somebody confirm you're seeing a website which I'm showing you? ScaledAgileFramework.com. Yeah, you see that, right? Very good. Very good. So now, if you watch out here, this is the website of ScaledAgileFramework.com. This is the website. Anybody can go. It's an open website. It's a free, no login is expected. If you are a coach, if you are a student, you will have a login. For example, I will have a login because I'm a coach. I'll have a member login where I log in. When I log in, I'll get more benefit of video, listening to all this stuff. But login not needed. As a common man, I'll ask you to go this ScaledAgileFramework.com. In this website, what they're given is, I'll tell you, right? Scaled Agile is special because they mentioned how to do it. This is the how part. Look like a lot of snakes are dancing there, right? A lot of stuff there. Nothing but they talk about iteration, or they talk about agile release train. That's what given there. It's a class altogether. It needs 4 hours, 5 hours to explain this. I cannot explain in 5-10 minutes. But just to give a clue for you, this is the place. It's called how to do that. Here is where your team is. You have your agile team. You could they given a plural, not singular, plural. Agile teams, not agile teams. So more than one team going to be here. And Scrum Master will be here. All stuff are fine. This is called Essential Agile, Essential Safe. What they did in Scaled Agile is they gave a variety. They call it as configuration. Essential, large, portfolio, full. If you go to any restaurant, if you ask any food, they'll give sizes, right? They'll tell medium, large, extra large, burger sizes, which one you want. Or they'll tell we have these pizza, pan 1, pan 2, pan 3, kind of. Scaled Agile also has some flavor. Why they have this flavor? This essential safe is nothing but talks about how this team and how they will do this. The two things are very important. In fact, it's a heartbeat of whole Scaled Agile. So essential safe is used in many company where they have 2-3 teams. They want to put things together, get the delivery out of it, and they use it generally. It generally used in many teams. Now, if it is a large scale, if you see large, when I say large, there is something called large solution. When I say large solution, now it gets a little more bigger. How big it becomes is they start adding more. They will have more number of teams. If this is one program, they'll add multiple programs, right? I gave an example earlier. If my uncle is doing a retail business of t-shirt and shirt, only in my city, for them, if I do some technical work for them or a software for them, that will be one team, say 50, 60 people do that. If the same my uncle is doing like India level all over the country, or like Amazon has multiple system running. So they may need to introduce more program 1, program 2, they'll be combined. So teams of teams, trains of trains, it's getting bigger program level. When it happens, it's called as a large solution. So this is called essential, this is called large solution. Now what is next they have, Sriram? They have something more bigger than this, right? It's called portfolio. So what is portfolio? When you have portfolio, now if you see here, they have the team thing, and also they have something called a strategy. You start seeing the strategy. The moment you hear the word portfolio, your brain should quickly map with two words. One is called strategy, other one is called lean budgeting. And this is a level they'll start talking about how to do budgeting for the whole initiative, right? So this is being explained. Many people come to these courses called Scaled Agile to learn. Why? Because they want to see this a full safe. I'll show you full safe. They come here to learn full safe because they want to know in my company, if I'm working for Google, Amazon, Oracle, Adobe, some company you work, how my company's strategy is been properly lean budgeted, and this work has been considered as epic. Epic means big initiative. And later this epic becomes either capability or it becomes a feature, and later it becomes a user story and how it is getting delivered to the customer. So people come here to understand enterprise becomes a strategy, and as a vision, we have a budgeting for it. It turns into epic, and epic becomes either capability or becomes a feature, user story delivered as a value. There's a full cycle, right? I just gave a clue like this, but it can have multiple layers inside that. I don't want to jump too deep inside. I just want to give a clue for you how much it is broader, right? If anybody want to quickly understand how many layers are there, the layers are pretty good layer. What happens is at the high level, they have a layer called, you will have a portfolio Kanban. You know Kanban very well, right? Kanban comes from 1953 from Toyota, where they use for inventory system to understand to do, in progress, done. And in 1990s on, IT company picked up Kanban really well. Now Kanban is really used in many companies. So Kanban is used with a WIP limit. WIP means work in process or work in progress. How many items from strategic themes can be picked up? At a time, maybe 1 or 2, you can't take everything, right? So how this Kanban goes to this solution backlog, from how that goes to program backlog, from here, how it goes to team backlog. You can see everywhere it is Kanban, 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 right? So Kanban helps to queue the system in a right approach. Then what? You have a Scrum and XP. If anybody here from Scrum expertise, you are an XP expertise, you come to see two methodologies called Scrum and XP interchangeably used. Here also you can see Kanban being used. When you want to learn Scaled Agile, you will not be surprised that new items are getting introduced. Most of the items will be known for you. You would have heard about Sprint or Scrum. You would have heard about Kanban. You would have heard about XP, right? This is all you heard already. So now how do you put everything together? And if you are from an information technology, IT segment, you definitely would have heard the word called DevOps, development plus operations. How DevOps can collaborate to deliver efficiently. Right? That's a big discussion. Okay, a little heads up on this area. I don't want to drill you too much on this because it goes higher, because I have a lot of content here also, but it's too much of heavy for the day. Okay, so basic content what I given is, now let's see some more factors on this. Now the next question immediately comes. So Sriram, what is the way of learning? In fact, Lavanya was asking me a few minutes back, which certification we are talking here. One thing I found with the Scaled Agile is they are good in giving certifications. They have nearly 12 or 13 certificates. Maybe you have to check again. They may add one more also. Number of certificates they have. Okay, they have a Scrum Master, they have a product owner, you have an architect, a DevOps engineer, whatnot. Everything is there. A lot of certificates. I think too much also is not good, I believe, from them. I don't know, Scaled Agile has to think of it. But again, now the certificate which is highly recommended in the market is two things runs really well. One is a leading safe, what you see in front of you. This one certificate. This one certificate, what it does is, it takes this full safe. What it will tell you is, it will start from here and tell how to be a strategic person, how to be a program handling person. Okay, this is a single program with multiple program. Here, most of you should be 7 years, 8 years, 15 years, or 20 years experienced person. Now, you may have a couple of agile teams with you. Now, what is the next stage for you? You have to become a program manager. You have to go for a portfolio manager. That's the stage you have to move on. If you want to move to that level, definitely you should know how to handle multiple agile teams towards a common strategy. So you should learn about how to strategy things works, how this Kanban flow works, and you should also know how the budgeting happens in the bigger level, high level. You should also know how the programs work. This team will do, don't worry. Scrum teams will be there. They have something called sprint. These all called sprints. Two weeks of iteration. These all will work automatically. This will explain in the classes, but for you, you have to understand, if you are looking for leadership role in Agile, Scaled Agile will give a little edge for you, right? So you will be preferred if you have this, because you know how to handle programs, you know how to handle portfolio. So chances are you may get better. That's what we want, right? How better it can be. Now coming back here, by the way, I see some more questions. I will complete this and come to you. Leading Safe is one of the certificate being discussed. If you don't know much about Leading Safe, you can also browse in the website. Just give a clue for you how it works, who can go for it. Look at here, who can go for it. They're telling CEOs can go for it. You can have a portfolio manager, consultant, you are agile coach, a release train engineer. If you are a Scrum Master, you can go for it. Product manager, you name it, all the names are here. Anybody in this group can go for Scale. Why? The reason is, Leading Safe is one of the certificate which covers everything. Okay, you get a full picture of what it is. In this, there is something called product owner, product manager certificate, which is very specific on what is the role of a product owner. Who is a product owner? The person who can talk about business and make your team to move forward. So it will be very specific on product owner, little lesser than what you're going to learn in this course. So it varies. There are Scrum Master certifications are there. Okay, how much is this certification timeline, Sriram? It will take 2 days. As per their book, when I say their book, Scaled Agile says that 8 plus 8, 16 hours of training you should complete. Sriram, how this works, Sriram? I don't know what you have to do. Any eligibility criteria? Eligibility, not much. If you possess around 5 years of experience in any industry of this segment, chances are you can go for it. It's all recommendation. They don't verify or they don't push you. They tell as a recommendation. If you possess it, good for you, right? If not, if you go sit in the class, everything will go over your head, right? It'll be what this guy is talking. Even now, when I say, some of you will tell what you are talking, man. You're telling lean, you're telling Scaled Agile, something you're talking, I don't understand. So totally be away your head. But if you were interested to learn, even though you don't have experience, you can learn. That's also possible. Now, point here is, when you saw it's called Scaled Agile, other you saw you need 2 days of training to go for it. So how is it the exam level, Sriram? Before I go there, when you attend these classes, one benefit they're giving. If anybody from PMI Institute people, in the sense you're doing PMP, you are doing ACP, PGMP, anything on PMP, they're giving credit points. Some marketing strategy, right? They say that if you attend with Scaled Agile for 2 days, if you are a PMP certified, you will get 15 points. which you can add for your PDU. You remember PDU? You have to get 60 PDUs for PMP. It will give you. What it means is, I'll tell you internal meaning. Keep the marketing aside. Internal meaning. Internal meaning is, after you complete your PMP or ACP or any course, you are learning something to make yourself better. See, in Scaled Agile, you are learning how to do organizational strategy. You are learning budgeting. You are learning how to run a team of 100 people, which is a good learning, right? So they give a credit for you because you learn 15 hours of good thing. If you are a ACP person, you get 9 hours of learning. This is one benefit. Okay, if anybody here. Okay, maybe I can quickly cover about the exam part, because many want to know what is this exam all about. The intention of this training, a 1 hour program, is to tell you what is SAFE. Now, what happened is, SAFE is having an exam. It's an English-based exam where you can write exam with your laptop at your home. It is not proctor-based. It is not center-based. So you no need to book exam. You no need to go to any center. Once you take your classes, you attend the classes. From the class, within 30 days, you have to write your exam. How Scaled Agile does this? They will collect the fees, including class plus exam. Both will collect together. So that what happens is, imagine the class is going to happen June 4 and 5. 5th will be the day when the class completed. July 4th or July 5th is a timeline for you. Within this 30 days, you have to write exam. Shram, 30 days sufficient? Can I write it? If you ask me, look at this. They will give you 45 questions exam. In this 45 questions, you have to get 35 to clear. Out of the 45 questions, 35 to clear, which is very normal. If a person can read 4 to 8 days, can clear this exam. So where to read? Usually once you enroll for the classes, they'll give you a PDF, some videos will be given. If not, also everything in the website available, you can read through. So a person, general person who knows a little Agile can learn this course. 8 days max, I will tell you. If you don't have time, maybe 16 days. You can read and clear this exam. That is how they framed it, right? Good. I believe I gave some basic detail. Let me see if any questions I can help out. First thing, Karnagaran says, what time it started? The Karnagaran, this question is a little open. I couldn't get. It started means which one started. If you ask me, SAFE started means 2011 Scaled Agile started. If any other question, please let me know. There is a question in YouTube. How to handle if some teams are in Agile and some different teams like DB teams work on waterfall model? Okay, that's a typical thing, right? It happens. Now, a question is asked, Sandeep is putting, some team is in Agile, some not in Agile. But one problem, what you're saying is a DB team, right? I cannot assume that a DB team separately work on their own model. Those days are slowly going away. I remember my initial days of my career. There'll be a centralized database team. Okay. Any project team has to approach them, ask for them database structure, design schema, and they will give them. I mean, the database team will give them. We have to do the work and come back and ask the database team. Then they'll do the work on the flow. I think that's what Sandeep is telling. I worked 15, 18 years back. Now I'm also having a lot of teams working around, where when you form an Agile team, the Agile team possesses the knowledge of user interface, possesses the knowledge of business logic, possesses the knowledge of database handling. It may not work in a way where you have a different database team where you have to depend on them. If that's a model, it's going to be slightly tougher because they're not aligning with this. Okay, now that's a situation Sandeep telling. Okay, Sandeep, what will happen is this team will be brought under Agile release train. You saw the train here, right? Shriram, what is the train? You keep on telling train. Do we need to take tickets for the train? Okay, this Agile release train. That database team can be brought under this Agile release train, which is nothing but virtual organization. Keep in mind, virtual. You don't have a company for yourself, but it's a virtual. Your 150 people work on a same goal. When you bring them to the same cadence, when you bring them to the same goal, chances are they have to move from waterfall model and start aligning with the timeline. By the way, I didn't tell one point today. The timeline goes like this. If you have to do a work, the work will happen between 8 to 12 weeks of time. You're going to complete it. What do you mean by 8 to 12 weeks, Sriram? The team will sit and plan for 2 days. That's called PI planning. I'll remind again, Coming Friday, I'm going to talk about PI planning, which is a little deep inside. For now, just a clue for you. PI planning is nothing but 2 days of planning. If you are working in a Scrum team or a sprint, in a sprint, we do 4 hours of planning for 10 days. 4 hours for 10 days. Now, we are going to do a work for 8 to 12 weeks, which is nearly a quarter, 3 months. If I want to do for 3 months, how much of planning you have to do? You have to do a planning of at least 2 days of time. There are some critics in the market. It look like a waterfall model. It look like a predictive model. By the way, the people write that have to read this context. Context is slightly different. There's a different in the sense that 2 days of PA planning happens, and from there they work for 8 to 12 weeks. Now, coming back to you, Sandeep, question. If you have a database team like that, they have to brought inside. If not, definitely it will be a problem. Because one team working in a waterfall, one team working in agile, if both teams have a dependency, there'll be delay in deliverables because no synchronization, right? The main reason of bringing up agile is, scaled agile is synchronization. Okay, is collaboration in safe asking to communication stakeholders to arrive at consensus as in PM? Is collaboration safe to communication with stakeholder? Okay, Prakash Maharaj, one thing I want to put you go to any framework, let's say talk about large scale Scrum, you talk about scaled agile. I didn't talk about disciplined agile, which is there also the bigger one. Now I talk about PMP. Anywhere if you go, there's a stakeholder and communication or the spinal cord. You take it any framework, this does not change. It will be same. Whatever you read in PMP, you can apply in any places. That's how the PMP has a frame. Or what you read here will be applied. But here, I don't feel they go so deep inside like PMP. They cover stakeholders, but they couldn't go deep inside. They left it at some level. But if you are a person who learned in PMP about stakeholder and communication, you are good in any places. So yes, it covers all the area. Okay, right. Vaibhav is asking how much is the cost. Definitely, Vaibhav, the team will help you. Now, coming back on some more points here. As we talk about PMP or scaled agile, it may look almost the same for you because we have a strategy, we have a program, we have a portfolio all covered. But with difference with the scaled agile would be is you will see more injection of agile mindset. You will have a more injection of a lean concept. You have something called framework. Okay, this is what framework is all about. Framework means how a team can plan for 2 days and work between 8 to 12 weeks. When the 12th week comes, they'll show demonstration to the customer. Again, they sit and work for 2 days of planning. Again, they work for 8 to 12 weeks. 2 days planning, 8 to 12 weeks of work. 2 days planning, 8 to 12 weeks of work. How to do that? And that is what PI planning, which is the core engine of scaled agile. So whatever you see outside is all supporting thing, but the center point is the work should happen. See, strategy and portfolio manager can speak anything. They can commit anything. Somebody has to do, right? Who will do it? That doing part is there. Now, if you are an experienced person, if you are into agile already, if you see your company has an opportunity to get bigger projects, getting grow higher, and you feel yourself to grow in your career as a senior manager or a big project manager or agile manager, then you should look for this kind of learning process, right? But certification is not mandatory. Just reading itself will give a lot of knowledge for you. But what to do? Some of the companies, when you go for a job in a resume, they look for you. Do you have PMP? Do you have ACP? Do you have a scaled agile? They're looking for those tags needed. For that reason, definitely you have to learn it, right? Okay, that's pretty much I have. Let me go back to the slides if I can cover anything more. Any more questions I can help out for this Wednesday? Hope I'm able to cover some knowledge which is helpful to you, basic level. All right. Maybe last one, I'll touch base quickly, 2 minutes. This is called a roadmap. The roadmap means where you have to start, how far you have to progress. There is a roadmap given. What is this roadmap all about? We are in a waterfall model or ad hoc agile. See, what is ad hoc agile? Just now, Sandeep mentioned one team is working in agile other team is working in a waterfall model, how they integrate together. In those companies or those group of people, you can see something called ad hoc agile. Whatever they think the best, they'll start applying. Okay. Imagine you are here and go safe. Here the safe starts. And this is called SPC, Scaled Agile Program Consultant. I have certified as myself as SPC. We'll be the trainer and coach. Like me, there are many people in the market, coach. Now, what happens is when you learn this, you'll become a leading safe person. This is the first certificate recommended. So leading safe is for the executives, managers, leaders. So you may fall in this category. Or you can also learn other certificate also. I'm just giving a clue that this can be a starting point. You learn from the coach and you get the knowledge. From here, you start working on how to identify the value, how to create the implementation plan, how to launch that team. I said, right, 50 to 150 people. Its name is called as art. How to launch it. Launch means getting ready, right? And how to train the team, how to coach it, and how to launch more value-added programs, and how to make it up to the portfolio level, and how to accelerate. Of course, it has a big story. I don't want to jump too deep inside. There's a clue for you that you become an expert after you do this learning process with certification, where it helps you to dive deep inside, right? Okay, hope that gave some idea. But one more thing I want you to see in Scaled Agile website, you can see this part. In the right side, you see there are some results given here, business results. These numbers are calculated based on the feedback and inputs from the companies which applied Scaled Agile. What they are telling here is the quality, right? It has really gone really high, well improved. It means a defect rate has dropped heavily. I always go to this place first. You know why? A product without more problem, it's a wonderful product people love to buy. You know that, at least now we buy different country products. If you go back 20, 30 years, people like Japan product. You can check with your parents. Japan means they give highest respect. You know why? The only reason is the quality problem will be very less, or no, zero. Either of one, it will be there. So that's the reason they like a Japanese product very heavily. Okay, that's the reason I believe they brought this concept, right? Lean from Japan, right? Lean from. In fact, Agile is also from Japan in the name called Kaizen principle, if you know about it. Okay, now quality is pretty good, and the time to market, 30 to 75% increases the time to market. You can go faster to the market when every team can collaborate, synchronize on an efficient timeline, right? And engagement level. What is engagement level? Employees, the customer, stakeholder, how they have a good engagement with what they want, how they deliver. It's also pretty high. By the way, these are all proven numbers. Okay, this is not just a number. It's a number given in the Scaled Agile website. And productivity goes pretty high, 20 to 50%. Now, for this, they're given some case study justification. Time permits, go to the website and spend some time. Really worth reading. Okay, that's pretty much. I want to just recover on some point for you. Scaling is best applied in any domain where there is a medium to high uncertainty. If somebody has a question on that, if there is an uncertainty in certain areas, definitely Scaled Agile will help you. Predictable nature of areas, it may not help much. Scaling needs more commitment from the organization, high level, very important. It's not only for IT department, any department can join together to deliver value, right? It can start with a small team and it can scale up to the higher level. And one thing keep in mind in Scaled Agile, predictability. You and your team will become more predictable of giving answers. So your customers start creating trusted you. I can trust this team. They will deliver value at any time, even though the delivery is pretty huge, right? That's how it is. Pretty good. I think you spent a good time. Yeah, how to learn it. By the way, this Saturday, Sunday, there are some classes going to happen for Scaled Agile. You can reach out to our team. The numbers are given at the bottom. They will help you with the classes. This usually happens on weekend, only 2 days of class where you listen all this concept. What I said is a very high level, right? So you have to go deep inside. We have to workshop on that, how to implement it, how to do a PI planning. So this is all we listen in the class. You do on your own. Then you get expertise, right? Then you go for a certificate, have a certificate. Hey man, I'm Scaled Agile certified. Right? That's how usually people do in 1 week or max in 2 weeks time, they clear the exam. That's how it is. Pretty good. Thanks all. And in fact, we also do PMP-ACP certifications if you're aware of us. There's a number here, email ID here. You are free to reach us. Happy to support you anytime. Great. That's good. Okay, I know I've taken extra 5-10 minutes, but again, I believe it gave some basic information because scaled agile is one of the things happening in the market. When it's happening, anybody who are in agile already or going to be in agile, scaled agile will become a norm for you. And in some time, in 2-3 years, it can become a basic mandatory certificate whenever you are in a company. So if you feel that you can be a front runner, chances are you have to start learning right now. Getting certified is one portion, at least start reading it. That's very important, right? Good. Let me see if any more question. That's good. That's good. That's good. Great. So once again, thanks all for joining here. It's a short introduction about Scaled Agile. There are a lot of content inside this. But Friday, I'll be talking something on the planning only. I will give some heads up on that. It may help you. And people can reach out to our team for upcoming Scaled Agile classes. We will start guiding you. Thanks for participating today. And I believe Wednesday was really good for you. Catch you again on another session on Friday. Have a good time. Thanks for being here.